resources are similar to conventional resources in finance and assets and buildings and so on. But I think the distinctive thing about social economy resources is social capital, that link between people, the relationships that they have between each other. So I think that's a fairly crucial resource distinctive to the social economy. Social capital is very important for a number of reasons. Firstly, that increasingly economists recognize that high trust economies which have a lot of social capital, are the most efficient, because high trust between people means that you trust them, you have a good relationship, and the organization works better. It's also important in terms of the kind of civil society we live in. If you have good relationships with your neighbors, good relationships with friends, then everything works better. As Robert Putnam, the American Harvard professor who developed this term, said about America, soon they will be bowling alone. Bowling alone was the title of his book. So that tells you what happens if you don't have social capital. I think the term has been increasingly recognized as important. Putnam's work was on the comparison between the north and south of Italy, showing that in the south there wasn't so much social capital, in the north there was. And this it has become grown and grown to the extent that in my country we have standard measures for social capital. It's seen as a major reason for promoting the social economy and the third sector. Countries differ according to the amount of social capital there is. Regions differ and cities differ. So I think at very different levels we can be concerned to develop a positive policy towards social capital, and one of the most important instruments is the social economy, the connections that people have between each other as members of cooperatives, as members of associations. Those are quite crucial for developing social capital. I think there's a difference between people understanding that it's important and then people allocating resources in that direction. So there's always a political battle to be fought to ensure that people are ready to invest in that rather than investing in bailing out the banks, for example, or allowing bankers to be paid big bonuses. It's a very different issue to recognize that something's important. So there's a political struggle still about investing in social capital, investing in the social economy and the third sector. Well, I've had many dreams over the years, and some of them have been disappointed, but I'm still an optimist that we can achieve more in this field, and I think there are new interesting movements around. There's movements around social entrepreneurship. There's this developing theme of social capital around the world. We still face major challenges of governance, for example, at supranational levels, which is vitally important for addressing international poverty, environmental climate change, and so on. But I'm quite positive about the prospects in future for the third sector and the social economy and social enterprise.